Welcome back. This is Get Well 101. In today's live broadcast, we're going to be talking about bipolar. We're going to be talking about bipolar, okay, and what causes bipolar. Are there any preventive measure for bipolar? So these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so we're going to be talking about so many things today. Okay, so talking about bipolar and how what how can we better take care of bipolar patient? What are the warning signs that you need to pay attention to? Okay, so we're going to be looking at all that today. Okay, and without wasting much of your time, like I said, we'll be looking at about so many things today. So many things to look at today. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we are saying that we are looking at what I call a mental health disorder. Okay, so what is bipolar and what causes bipolar? How can we prevent it? Simple home remedy to help alleviate the symptoms. These are some of the things that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so we are saying that bipolar disorder is a mental health condition that causes unusual shift in mood, energy, activity level, and ability to think clearly. People with bipolar disorder experience periods of mania or hypermania, extreme elevated mood. Okay, their mood can be really extremely elevated, high energy, impulsive behavior. Okay, sometimes they can also experience depression, which is sadness, low energy, loss of interest, and difficulty functioning. The mood episode can last weeks or even months. Okay, so the common symptoms of bipolar disorder. Let's look at the manic symptoms. In the manic symptom, the patient feeling extremely happy, all overexcited. You see them, they are so excited. Okay, so they are extremely happy. They have some of the symptoms of the manic stage will be very little need for sleep. You can hardly sleep. They're talking very fast. I remember one of my clinical rotation, psych, and this bipolar patient was so excited. He keeps shouting, "Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you?" So he was so excited. And the clinical instructor, thought that, hey, the guy was just being excited. Okay, so we're all just cracking up. I mean, the way he was going about it. He would clap his hand, he would raise up his hand, overexcited. So we all, okay, so we were all, very happy for him. So, oh, he probably have he probably slept well. Okay, so little do we know that this guy is actually going through some sort of um, some sort of malic phase of bipolar. So to cut a long story short, the next thing we say was this guy attacked the clinical instructor, knocked off 3 teeth from his mouth. I'm telling you, everybody was scared. Because blood everywhere. So he started to shout, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. I mean, very, very hyper. A guy that was just super excited just now, 36-degree turnaround, become extremely aggressive and combative. So they had to call the security to restrain him. So there are some of the things that happen in the manic phase of bipolar. Okay? They talk very fast. They are super excited. But don't be fooled. They can turn around and become aggressive. Okay? Very aggressive. Because they have little sleep, they talk very fast, and they have this racing thought. Increased risk taking, spending money, reckless behavior, irritability or anger. Okay? So, in the depressive stage, bipolar patient will have depressive symptoms such as persistent sadness or hopelessness. Some of the depressive symptoms will be fatigue or low energy. Depressive symptom will be loss of interest in activity. You can't get them to do anything. They don't want to interact with anybody. They just want to stay in an exclusive area by themselves. In the depressive stage, loss of interest in activity. I've said that before. In depressive symptoms will be difficulty concentrating. They can hardly concentrate. Change in sleep, too much or too little sleep. The depressive symptoms. Thought of death or suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, when those are some of the depressive symptoms of a bipolar patient. So what causes bipolar disorder? What causes bipolar disorder? We say that the exact cause is not fully known, but several factors may contribute. Factors as genetic. Bipolar disorder often runs in some families. So genetic may be a contributing factor to bipolar disorder. Brain chemistry may also be a contributing factor to bipolar disorder. Imbalance of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin may affect mood regulations. Stress and trauma. Major life stress like loss of a loved one might be a contributing factor. Financial problem can also be a contributing factor to bipolar disorder. Abuse or trauma can also be a contributing factor to bipolar disorder. Sleep disruption. Chronic lack of sleep can trigger manic episode. Okay? A chronic lack of sleep can trigger manic episode, bipolar disorder. Substances substances use, such as alcohol or drug abuse, can worsen or trigger symptoms of bipolar disorder, mostly the manic phase. Can bipolar disorder be prevented? Bipolar disorder cannot always be prevented, but you can reduce triggers and manage symptoms early. So, helpful prevention strategies will include managing regular sleep pattern. Make sure you sleep. Make sure you have 7 to 9 hours of sleep daily. Okay, and make sure you sleep at a regular time. Also, managing your stress. Stress is a major trigger factor for the manic phase of bipolar disorder. Stress management is crucial if you want to reduce triggers or if you want to manage symptoms of bipolar disorder. So you want to reduce stress. Do not overwork yourself. Meditate, do yoga, stretch, break your tasks into smaller pieces. Complete one task at a time and walk around. Stretch yourself. Relieve stress. Stress management is crucial because it can trigger the manic phase of bipolar disorder. Okay. We also said that avoiding alcohol and recreational drugs, this can trigger bipolar disorder, especially the manic phase. Exercise regularly. That cannot be overemphasized. Try to exercise. Okay, regular exercise reduces stress. Okay, at least 30 minutes of exercise a day and 150 minutes of exercise a week. 30 minutes a day and 3 times also can also be 3 times a week or 5 times a week. 30 minutes exercise would be ideal. Okay. Seeking early mental health support. This is crucial and very important. Okay, if you are noticing any of these symptoms I have been mentioning, make sure you seek mental health support immediately. Okay, go to the urgent care clinic, go to the ER, talk to somebody, consult mental health professionals. Okay, seeking early mental health support will help you reduce or manage symptoms. It will also help reduce triggers. And if you are being diagnosed and you're on medication, please make sure you adhere to your prescribed medication consistently. If diagnosed, don't skip your medication and don't abruptly stop taking your medication. It might trigger, and it might even be worse. Okay? So make sure you go for your routine medical checkup. Do not miss your doctor appointment. It is crucial. So let's talk about some simple home remedy to help alleviate symptoms of bipolar disorder. While this does not replace medical treatment, but they can help support mood stability. Okay, so regular sleep routine. We mentioned that before. Sleep at the same time every night. Poor sleep can trigger mood swing. Exercise, we'll talk about that before. Daily physical activity, walking, yoga, stretching help balance mood chemical. And also omega-3 rich food is very encouraging. Food that support brain health such as salmon, walnut, flaxseed, chia seed. This seed are loaded. This food are loaded with omega-3 rich food. So they support brain health. Eat most of this so that your brain can be well developed. Stress reduction techniques, try meditation. We'll talk about that before. Deep breathing, prayer, mindfulness. We also say that you should reduce your caffeine intake. Too much caffeine may trigger anxiety or mania. Sunlight exposure, getting 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight daily can help regulate mood. That cannot be overemphasized. Okay? Keep a mood journal. Tracking mood changes help identify trigger early. Okay? So, when someone should seek medical help, so we encourage you to seek medical help or see a mental healthcare professional if someone has severe mood swing. If you're having a severe mood swing, please seek medical help. Risky behavior, reckless driving, reckless risk-taking. This person needs to seek healthcare professional, mental health professional immediately. Suicidal thought, homicidal ideation, you need to seek medical help. Long period of depression, you need medical help. See a healthcare professional if you are having all these symptoms are measuring. Difficulty functioning at work or at home, you need to see a mental health professional. Treatment may include therapy, mood stabilizing medication, and lifestyle management. Yeah. The good news is, with proper treatment and lifestyle management, many people with bipolar disorder live stable, productive life. Okay? So, what are the early signs of bipolar disorder many people ignored? What are they? God, there are 7 early warning signs of bipolar disorder many people ignored. We're going to be talking about that. Also going to be talking about food that naturally helps stabilize mood. We're also going to be looking about the difference between bipolar disorder and depression. Many people confuse them. They don't know whether they are depressed or they are having a bipolar disorder. We're going to be looking at that also. So the 7 early warning signs of bipolar disorder that many people ignore, recognizing any symptom can help someone seek help before mood episodes become severe. Sudden mood swing. A person may shift quickly from feeling extremely happy or energetic to feeling very sad or hopeless. So these are some of the early warning signs. Change in sleep pattern. Sleeping very little but still feeling energetic. Possible manic phase. You don't sleep at all, but you are still feeling very energetic. You may probably pass into the manic phase of bipolar disorder. sleeping too much and feeling tired, possible depressive phase. Yeah, we're passing through depressive phase of bipolar disorder. Unusual increase in energy, feeling over energized, restless, or extremely productive for several days without a clear reason. Yeah, those are some of the early signs of bipolar disorder. Okay, talking faster than usual. Have you ever seen a bipolar patient before? They talk really fast. So, but these are some of the early warning signs that people tend to ignore. And they also have flight of idea. They jump from one topic to another without making conclusion. Okay? Sometimes you can't reason with them. You can't even figure out what they are trying to say or what are they talking about. Risky, impulsive behavior, yeah? Example include overspending money, risky driving, poor decision making, substances use. Okay? Substances use can also be a contributing factor. Difficulty concentrating. These are some of the early signs of bipolar disorder that people tend to ignore. Trouble focusing on tasks, remembering things, or finishing projects. Yeah, they jump from one project to another. Okay, without completing the first project. Jump to project number 2 when project number 1 have not been thoroughly completed. It's a bipolar disorder people. Okay, so they're having trouble focusing on tasks, difficult remembering things, or finishing projects. Lose of interest in activity. These are some of the, I would say, depressive phase of bipolar disorder. Okay, so during depressive phase, someone may lose interest in hobby. During depressive phase, someone may lose interest in work. During depressive phase, someone may lose interest on social interaction. They want to be different. They want to be on their own. They want to be by themselves when they are going through depressive phase. Food that may help stabilize mood naturally. Certain foods support brain health and may help regulate mood chemicals, such as fatty fish. We talked about that already before. We said salmon, sardines, and tuna. These foods are rich in omega-3 fatty acid, which support brain health or brain function. Nuts and seed, walnut, flaxseed, chia seed, and almond, may help support healthy brain chemistry. Whole grain food like oat, brown rice with whole grain bread help maintain stable blood sugar, which support mood balance. Green leaves, such as green leaf vegetables, such as spinach, kale, broccoli, contain folate, which support mental health development. We also help stabilize mood. Banana are very rich in potassium, and they also contain vitamin B6, which help the body produce mood regulatory neurotransmitter. Dark chocolate in moderation. Okay, dark chocolate in moderation may help increase serotonin, the brain chemical links to happiness. Yogurt and fermented food may also help support gout health may also influence mood because the gout and brain are connected. So we'll be talking about the difference between bipolar disorder and major depressive disorder. They are two different things entirely. So the mode pattern for bipolar patient will be alternate between mania and depression. While the mode pattern for a depression patient will be, for major depressive disorder will be persistent low mode or sadness. Energy level for a bipolar disorder patient will be period of high energy and very low energy, while depression patient will be usually low energy. Very may sleep very little during mania, while depression often sleep too much or too little. Okay, risk-taking behavior for bipolar disorder patient will be behavior for bipolar disorder patient will be risk-taking or impulsive behavior during mania. While for depressive patient will be usual withdrawal and lack of emotion and lack of motivation. The most swingy bipolar depression will be extreme mode changes, while for depressive patient will be mostly low. Key difference: people with bipolar disorder experience both manic and depressive episodes, while people with depression merely experience persistent sadness and no mode. Okay, so when to seek medical help, who says someone should seek medical help if they're experiencing severe mood swing, very important. Long period of depression, very important. And risky or impulsive behavior, please seek medical attention. Thought of self-harm or suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation. Maintain mental health professional may recommend therapy, medication, lifestyle changes, or a combination of treatment. Okay, so do not forget that early treatment will go a long way to avoid so many things. That's why we always place emphasis on prevention, and we also encourage you greatly to go for your routine medical checkup, because early treatment, early stage of treatment would go a long way to help this patient. So, but without wasting much of your time, let's quickly run through it again. Okay? Let's quickly run through the topic of today. We're saying that what is bipolar, what causes bipolar, how can bipolar be prevented, simple home remedy to help alleviate bipolar symptoms. I would say that bipolar disorder is a mental health condition that causes unusual shift in mood, energy, activity level, and the ability to think clearly. People with bipolar disorder experience periods of mania or hypomania, extremely elevated mood, high energy, impulsive behavior. I also said that people with bipolar disorder can also experience depression, such as sadness, low energy, lack of interest, and difficulty functioning. Okay? I will say that this mood episode can last for days. It can also last for weeks or even months. Okay? I will talk about some of these systems. I will say that the manic symptom, the manic system will be if a person will be feeling extremely happy or all overexcited. They also have a very little need for sleep. They're talking very fast, raising thought, increased risk taking, spending money anyhow, careless behavior, and ability or anger. irritability or anger. We also say that the depressive symptom will be persistent sadness or hopelessness, fatigue or low energy, difficulty concentrating, changes in sleep, too much or too little, thought of death or suicide. So, what causes bipolar disorder? I would say the exact cause is not fully known, but several factors may contribute. And we are saying that genetic may be a contributing factor to bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder may often run in family. That will be genetic. We'll also talk about brain chemistry, imbalance of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin may affect mood regulation. Okay, we also talk about stress and trauma. I would say that major life stress like loss of loved one. Yes, that can be a major factor. Okay, we also talk about financial problem. You can pay your rent, you can pay your bills. Yeah, bipolar might step in. Then abuse or trauma, bipolar is my trigger bipolar. Okay, so stress and trauma can actually help manage bipolar symptom. Okay, can bipolar disorder be prevented? The answer is no. It cannot. Bipolar cannot always be prevented, but you can reduce triggers and manage symptoms early. So helpful prevention strategy will be include maintaining regular sleep pattern, avoiding stress, avoiding alcohol and recreational medication, exercise regularly, seek early mental health support, take prescribed medication if diagnosed. Okay, so we also talk about some simple home remedy to help alleviate symptoms. I will say that these do not replace medical treatment, but they make help support mood stability. I would say that regular sleep pattern routine, sleep at the same time every night. Poor sleep can trigger mood disorder. It can trigger mood swing. I mean to say. Okay, exercise regularly, daily physical activity, walking, yoga, stretching, help balance mood chemical. Also, ask you to eat a lot of food that contain omega-3 rich fatty acid. Routine food that support brain health will be salmon, your walnut, and your flaxseed, and also your shake seed. They all support brain health. Stress reduction techniques. We also said that meditation, deep breathing. Okay, deep breathing. You breathe in and breathe out. This helps reducing stress. Prayer, meditation, mindfulness. Also said that you can reduce caffeine intake, or too much caffeine may trigger anxiety or mania. Sunlight exposure, getting 15 to 10 minutes of sunlight can help regulate mood. Okay, also keep a mood journal, tracking mood and changes help identify trigger early. Okay, when someone should seek medical help, we say seek medical help when you have a severe mood swing. Seek medical help when you have a risky behavior. We also says seek medical help when you have long period of depression. Seek medical help. You have difficulty functioning at work or at home. Treatment may include therapy, mood swing, mood stabilizing medication, and life healthy style. Okay? So the good news is with proper management and lifestyle management, you can actually live with bipolar disorder. Okay, bipolar disorder, stable, productive life. Okay, So if I'm going to be talking about the 7 warning signs that people ignore, 7 early warning signs of bipolar disorder. Many people do what? Ignore, especially in younger adults. So we'll be talking about recognizing early symptoms can help someone keep help before and most episodes become materialized. Okay, so most swing or sudden mood swing, a person may shift quickly from feeling extremely happy or energetic to feeling very sad. This is some of the early sign of bipolar. Change your sleep pattern. You sleep very little, but still feeling energetic. Possible malic phase. You sleeping too much and feeling tired. Possible depressive phase. So usually increase in energy. Okay, so unusual increase in energy, feeling overly energized, restless life, extremely productive for several days without a clear reason. This might be any sign of bipolar. Okay, talking fast, mood change may also be an early warning sign of bipolar. During manic phase, a person with a person may be talking rapidly, jumping from one topic to another without conclusion, or having racing thought. Risky impulsive behavior during the manic phase, example would be overspending money, reckless driving, risk taking, poor decision making, and for also poor decision making, sometimes use difficulty concentrating. Okay, trouble focusing on tasks, remembering things, or fishing project. Okay, so lose of interest will be the 7th sign of bipolar type. Ignored. During depression phase, someone may lose interest in hobby, work, or social interaction. Okay, so food that may help stabilize mood naturally will be certain food support brain health and may help regulate mood chemical, such as fattening fish. Fattening fish we said is rich in salmon and sardine and tuna. Okay, so nut and seeds such as walnut, flaxseed, chia seed, and almond may help support brain health chemistry. Whole grain food like oat, feeling food like oat, brown rice, and whole grain head help maintain stable blood sugar, which support mood balance. Green leaves like spinach and kale and broccoli contain folate, which support mental health. Banana contain vitamin B6, which help the body produce mood regulatory neurotransmitter. Dark chocolate in moderation also help increasing serotonin in the brain chemical linked to happiness. Yogurt and fermented food that support gut health may also influence mood because the gut and brain are connected. We also talk about the difference between bipolar and depression phase. So you cannot go wrong with this. You cannot go wrong with this. So there's a main difference between a bipolar and depression. People with bipolar disorder experience both manic and depressive disorder, while people with depression merely experience persistent sadness and no mood. Okay, so while this does not constitute diagnosis or treatment, we strongly encourage you to go to your medical provider to seek help. This is Gateway 101. Thank you all for watching, and bye for now. See you in the evening.